Hello everyone, welcome back to Mr. Nick's class. Okay, so let me ask you guys one question. Have you ever felt like you want to tell your friend a story that happened in the past, or you want to describe something, but you don't know how to do it, and you will always run out of ideas whenever you try to say something about it? Have you? For example, like this.
Today I would like to tell you about the favorite trip, and
Yes, I think that you have been going through something like that, right? Me too. It was me like maybe around 5 years ago when I first came to the university and I didn't know how to speak English better like this. I mean like this fluency. So actually that was me until I figure out this PPF method. So what is this framework and why is it so important? First, about the definition. PPF method, it stands for like the first P is about like the past, and the second P is about the present, and the last F, it means the future. So it means like you have to tell your listener like 3 different stories. Actually, when we use this method, it can help you to be better in the way you think of the ideas. You have like 3 different stories, but it should link to each other, and you can speak more fluently, and you can prolong your answer without thinking much about like what you have to say or something like that, and without going off the topic. And it can easily think of the ideas as well when you can have time for preparing like 3 different stories, and you just need to set up the theme for that. And also you can practice among 3 tenses that can, like 3 important tenses like the past and the present and the future is very important, right? But how can we use that method? Okay, let's start with the first P. Let's jump into it. Okay, so let's start with the first P. It stands for the past. I know that this is the hardest part because you will have to use like the past tense during your conversation, and sometimes you cannot control it. But I have a tip for improving the past tense, or maybe like your story that happened in the past, at the end of the video. So let's watch until then, okay? So for the first P, you guys need to think of a story, maybe a random story or maybe a specific story. It depends on like the question that you receive from the examiner or from the listener or something like that, right? And for example, maybe they would ask you to tell them a story about like the present that you had received, maybe like on some special occasions like birthday party, or maybe on the wedding days or something like that. Yeah, it depends. You can think of a story immediately in the past that happened in the past, okay? You just need to set up a theme. Maybe you just need to talk and just to say something around it, because we have to save time for the present and for the future as well. And additionally, you can make it up as well. You can make up your story. You don't need to tell me like something like, it doesn't need to be true, you know? It doesn't need to be a real story. Yeah, you can fake it. You can make it up, right? Because that is also a creative skill that you can use for any situation, and you need to consider, but you also need to think of how realistic it is in order to make the story to be more logical. Yeah, and also you need to practice more for your past uses as well, like when you tell me like the story that happened in the past. So definitely the past tense must be correct, but like as I said, I will put it at the end of the video, so let's watch until then, okay? So that is the first P, guys. So let's move on to the second P. Okay, so let's move on to the second P. And the second P, it stands for the present. And in this part, it would be easier for you to imagine what you are talking about, because you just need to tell me like the story that links to the past. For example, like our old question, maybe they would ask you about like the present that you had received on your birthday party, and then when you set up a theme about like your past story and you did finish that, and when you move on to the present, you can tell me like maybe like how is it going right now, like the present, Is it still there? Or maybe you use it for any kind of purposes? I don't know. Like it depends on your story. I don't know, right? But for me, I think that I would say something about like right now, yeah, I don't use it more often, but I always put it on my wardrobe in order to make it as like a decoration or something like that. Yep, you can make it up. I just made it up. I didn't receive any toy or any present like that, but yeah, I just made it up. So you just need to tell me like the story that links to the past, okay? How it goes, and how is it going right now? Is it still there, or does it still exist in your room or something like that? You have a lot of ways to tell me, all right? So that is how we can set up a second P, the present. So let's move on to the last one, the F. Okay, for the F1, I think this is the easiest one. Because you just need to tell me like your intention, or maybe like something in the future that you can tell me. For example, I think that I would always go for the easiest one in order to make it simple to talk. All right. For example, you can tell me like your intention with that object. For example, for the old question, yeah, maybe I'm still talking about like the present, but what am I doing with it maybe later, or what am I going to do with it like in the future? Maybe I still want to keep it as a decorated toy, or maybe like as decorated object in my room. For example, you can say something like in the future, because this is my friend's birthday gift, so I always appreciate it and I don't want to lose it. So maybe I just want to keep it in my room as a decorated item, I guess. Yeah, something like that. It's easy, right? So I just finished like the last one, the F1. So you see, if we link all of them like together, you can have like a very good story. First, you tell me about like the story that happened in the past, like what present was, what that present was. Yeah, maybe it was a toy or maybe something like that. And then you move on immediately to the present. You can tell me like how is it going right now. And the last one, you can tell me like your future, like the future of that object, like what is your intention with it? What are you going to do with it? Something like that, right? So when we link all of them together, you will have a perfect story. Additionally, I want to tell you one more thing. So as I promised, I want to tell you guys how to improve like the past tense during your conversation. Okay? So in this part, I think that whenever you want to tell them a story that happened in the past, I mean like the hardest part, because you have to use the tense that you don't often use in your daily routine, right? So in this part, if you want to make it better, first, when you talk to any listener or to any examiner, you don't need to care about like the grammar. You can eliminate that factor in out of your mind. You just need to focus on the ideas, or maybe something that you want to say, okay? Just say what you want to say, not what people want you to say, okay? Just say what you want, all right? So by doing that way, you can enhance your fluency to some extent. Trust me, it will be better for you if you don't think of any grammatical structure in your mind at a time, all right? And the second one, but if you don't think of the grammar, so how can you improve that? Actually, you can improve that by yourself. If you talk to any listener, or maybe like your examiner, I'm asking you not to think of it, because I want you to boost more about your confidence and your fluency, right? But you can use it, you can do it, you can improve your grammatical structure when you practice by yourself. When you talk to yourself, maybe you can ask yourself maybe like what am I going to do today, or maybe like what happened yesterday or something like that. You can also like practice by yourself. You can recognize that. Or maybe because we are living in the 4th industrial revolution, so you can use the ChatGPT for checking it with you. We have like the calling function with it right now, right? So yeah, it will be better if you can check it by yourself, not to the examiner or any listener, because they don't have time for, you know, like waiting for you until you finish your sentence. So maybe that is the theory. Let me give you guys one example and we will practice together. Okay, let's go. Okay, so as you can see on the screen, the question is, describe a memorable trip you had, and you should say where you went, who you went with, what you did there, and explain why it was so memorable to you. So for this one, I think that you can use like the PPF method. let's start with the first P. I would set up a theme for my past story. For example, when I was in secondary school, I went to Vũng Tàu with my classmates, and we played on the beach and ate a lot of seafood. Yeah, I just finished my first P, guys, because I did tell you like the story that happened in the past in a short way, okay? Just in a short way. And let's move on to the present. Maybe I want to tell you maybe like something about like the trip and how I feel after that. So now, maybe when I think about the trip, I still feel very happy and excited because it was full of fun and laughter. Yeah, because we have done so many things together. Yeah, so that's why. Yeah, I just finished my second P. And let's move on to the last one, the F. That is the easiest one. So you can tell me like your intention, maybe like your future, what you're gonna do with it. In the future, I want to go there again with my best friends in order to relax after maybe like a hardworking week or maybe a hardworking day or after a busy week. Something like that. Yeah, you see? So I just finished all of my parts here. I just finished all of my past, present, and the future here, and I link all of them together to make a perfect story. This is the shortest way that you can do and the easiest way that you can think of, and you will never run out of ideas whenever you think about it. You just need to think of like 3 stories: the past, yeah, what happened there, and the present, like how do you feel right now whenever you look at it, and the future, what you are going to do with it, right? So that is what I want to say about like the framework, and you can totally use it for your normal conversation, or maybe for the speaking part 2 section. You can prolong your answer by telling me more because you have time, right? Because you have 1 minute to prepare your answer, so you can note down for more keywords and then just go with the flow. Okay? Yeah, that is what I want to say about this framework, and it's your time to think about it. Okay? So let's give it some practice for you. Okay? Okay, so it's your practice time. Okay, so right now I'm going to give you a question right now. Okay, so the question is, describe a book you read that you found useful. You should say what it is, when you read it, why you think it is useful, and explain how you felt about it. Right now, I would give you 20 seconds to think of the story that happened in the past, the book you read and you found it useful. Okay, so if you finished that, congratulations. Let's move on to the present. So in this part, I want you to think that how you feel and maybe how is it going right now, how the book is going right now. Is it still there? Does it still exist in your room? Or maybe how do you use it right now? 20 more seconds for you. Let's go. Okay, so let's move on to the future. I would give you another 20 seconds to think about it, okay? And tell me, what is your intention with this book? Okay, so that is what I want to say about this framework. And have you felt better right now? Is it easy for you right now to think of the ideas? Yeah, and to imagine what you are talking about? I hope that you guys have felt better by using this framework. And in conclusion, You can use this method elsewhere. This is just like another framework for making your conversation better. You can think of like 3 stories. But remember, it must link to each other, not like the 3 different stories, okay? So that is what I want to say in this framework. So thank you for joining my class, and I hope that you can practice it well at home. Okay, so have a nice day. Goodbye.